Hey Facebook, how you doing today? Today is Friday. It's a great day here in Texas after the storms just moved out of here. We had storms all day, all morning actually, all across the DFW area. But sun is shining now. Sitting out here in the back, it's a beautiful day. Today I want to talk about something that is still on the same vein of what we originally discussed with our current situation here in America. I want to talk about reaction versus response, or if you want to say response versus reaction. Couple of things I noted throughout history, which is it's an amazing thing. But if you look at it, it's so obvious, and we've studied it in history. A lot of us are history buffs. Some of us are educators like myself, and we've witnessed this thing. The number of tragic responses throughout history has always been something that has greatly divided our country. If we go back to the Civil War era and we look at Abraham Lincoln and how Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and when we look at that thing and we try to take it apart, was that a reaction or a response? And we have to, I come to the conclusion that it was a reaction. It was a knee-jerk. Here was a man in power, and this man was making decisions that his political rivals did not agree with. And they did not see that they had time to work through the channels, let's say, of politics, and so they wanted to take matters in their own hands. And what did they do? They had him executed. Medgar Evers in the South during the 60s, gunned down in his own driveway at his home because he was fighting for civil rights. He was fighting for those rights and freedoms that black people did not have or were denied. They had them, but they were denied those certain rights to walk down the street, to eat at a lunch counter like anybody else. And so he was executed because he was fighting for the rights of black people. Martin Luther King was gunned down and shot down. These two examples in the 60s were reactions. These were the reactions of hate groups, organizations. How high up, we don't know, but these were the reactions of people who did not or could not find other ways to deal with the civil rights issue. Black people wanting to have rights like anybody else. And when we look at this, all through, when I looked at it, I should say, I started doing a little bit of history research, and I was noticing, man, this has been a consistent battle throughout time. This has been our history's, our country's MO, you might want to say, our mode of operation. Anytime we're dealing with difficult situations, especially with different groups and ethnicities and races and sexual preferences, we bring out the big guns, and we start eliminating physically our competition. We just start eliminating them. Okay, so you don't like what we do? Okay, so fine. Guess what? We're going to go ahead and get rid of you. We're just going to kill you. And if you think about that, it started long before. Holy Crusades. Holy Crusades were the acquisition of lands and people through the use of violence. The Catholic Church would march and with soldiers into other lands to free the people. To free the people. How do you free a people who haven't called for assistance? And how do you free a people who live a life that they feel is already a utopian society? They have everything they want. They have everything they need. They're not pillaging and plundering other civilizations to exist. But you come from miles across the sea to where they live, and then you subdue them through violence. People were, and villages were beheaded. People were beheaded. Villages were crushed and burnt to the ground, and then people were made to love a God that they didn't understand, to love a people that they didn't even understand. That was Holy Crusades. That's kind of what we do right now in America with people and situations. A lot of people still don't understand gay people. So we because we don't understand them, because we don't understand the choices that they make, we fear them to the point that we act out violently, as in what happened in Florida. And I'm suspect about that Florida thing. And when I'm saying I'm suspect about that, I'm wondering if maybe there was something deeper to that, where maybe, because the reports were in the news. I don't know the guy or anything, but some of the reports on the news were that that gentleman had actually spent some time there. So was he gay as well? Was he homophobic, plainly, or was he just acting out because he was one of those believers that this is an atrocity on the face of the earth? I don't know. But it deserves the question. Okay, it definitely deserves the question. Looking around, like I said, going back